Always make sure to clean the kitchen before you go to cooking and wash them dishes. Get that nasty out of there. Bite to you, Chef-O.
This recipe calls for Sazon Goya, tomato sauce, 3 medium onions, distilled white vinegar, some lemon juice. You want you some extra virgin olive oil, fresh cilantro, adobo seasoning with pepper. You want you some minced garlic or garlic paste, oregano leaves, and 1.5 to 2 pounds of thinly cut sirloin steak. Now let us get started. Bistec and Encebollado. And for your marinade, you want 1/4 cup of distilled vinegar, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of adobo with pepper, 1/2 pack of that Sazon, and 1/2 tablespoon of garlic puree or paste. Also, you want your 1/2 teaspoon of ground oregano, 3 tablespoons tomato sauce, 1 teaspoon of olive oil. You want you a bunch of cilantro, leave all the stems out of it, but you want you a bunch of it, and water is optional. And that's for your marinade. With your 3 medium onions, old Chef-O use a large and a partial piece of a medium. You want to cut them in rings, and you want to put 1/2 of them rings in the dish in the marinade, and you want the other 1/2 toward the end, add a little more texture and crunch. As you can see here, that's going to be our second 1/2 of them their onion rings, and we got the first 1/2 in here in the marinade with the steak. Now you're finna go to brining the meat, not even a full sear, just getting a little brining on it. And you don't want to include the onions. You want to pick around them and just drop the meat in there, let them onions sit in that marinade. So in 3 tablespoons of heated olive oil, excuse old Chef-O, you want to go to dropping down in there with them thin cut sirloin steak strips, just like this here. Yes, this is Bistec and Encebollado. But boy, whatever you want to name it, this here is good. It's on fire. If you ain't familiar with Spanish cooking, it's a good place for you to try. Go on to the grocery store and get you some sirloin steak, thin cut. If you can't find it thin, get a regular piece and fillet it or slice it over in half, and there you go. Just after at least 2.5 minutes, you want to go ahead and flip it. You ain't trying to get a brining on it and a sear. You just want to turn it brown. You ain't trying to get no sear on it or no crust. You just want to get a little brining like this here and flip it. Let it cook for a couple more minutes on that side. Boy, this here is infusing that grease and adding so much flavor, and your kitchen gonna be smelling lovely. After them couple minutes, you can remove this here steak and put it in a separate bowl, but you ain't got to. Old Chef-O just went to stacking it over in the corner on top of each other in the skillet. And you see there, we done made room for some more thinly cut sirloin. Then we gonna drop down in there with another batch. All together, Chef-O did this for about 3 batches of our thinly cut sirloin steak here. That's gonna go in our Bistec and Encebollado. Old Chef-O can't get nothing right. Bistec and Encebollado. Like, share, and subscribe. Old Chef-O love y'all. Yeah, old Chef-O love y'all. Now coming back here, that's the second batch. We done go to removing that and stacking that on the side. Yes. Delicious and flavorful, baby. Now after we done did that, we finna come with our last batch, and after we flip that one time, we want to go ahead and drop down in there with your onions that's been sitting in the marinade, and don't be afraid to pour that in there too. Pour the rest of that marinade and them meat juices over on top of them onions there, and you want to add a cup of water like old Chef-O did. You're gonna see that here in a second. Dropping down in there with additional cup of water and go to mixing in them onions and that their meat and get that all incorporated and nice and melded together, because we finna slow cook this here, baby. Once it come up to a boil, we want to drop it down so that it'll be a simmer, and we want to put a top on it and go to letting this here cook it. Gonna let this here go to cooking, and all together it was about an hour worth of cooking time, but we gonna take it easy here. We just gonna mix this in, and old Chef-O finna walk you on into it. Yes. So here we are mixed in, put our top on there, and go to letting that thing simmer. Now we come here 25 minutes later. As you see, we got a little gravy forming up. You want to make sure you get in there and stir good and scrape the bottom of that pot. keep an eye on this here, make sure ain't nothing sticking. We don't want too much of that fond building up or nothing. You want to keep stirring down in here and checking on this. As you can see, it done got thick down in there, you know. See there? Just like this here. Look around in there, make sure ain't nothing out of the ordinary. If it look too low, or if it's low at all, just to be safe, come back in there with some water. So I was looking a little low, so old Chef Fo went to dropping down in there with, I put about 1.5 cups of water. All together, Chef Fo dropped down in there with 1.5 cups of water, 1.5 cups. Make sure you scrape that bottom. Remember that, this is key. Put the top back on there, and we went another 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, as you can see, we done came down again. Now this steak at this point is real tender. Remember them other half of the onions? Drop down over there with the other half of the onions. Now we ain't gonna let these here cook down till they soft. The first ones is soft. You can barely tell they in there. They was just to flavor it. This here, we gonna let these get translucent, but they still gonna have a little bit of crunch to them. Give your dish some more texture and some added flavor. We just gonna drop down in there like that there, as you can see. And then we gonna put the top on there and let that go about 15-20 more minutes. Yes. Now look at this here. 15-20 minutes later, look at this here. And we done gave this a little stir and everything. So now we got our soft onions mixed in with our crunchier onions and everything else. Yes. Bistec Encebollado. Yes. On fire, baby. Y'all ain't getting nothing to eat. And we served that up with some white rice and some of them Spanish Dominican style pinto beans. And we fried up some sweet plantains to throw that over on the side. And we gonna show y'all how to make them beans up next and them plantains. Yes. You got to get your own, baby. You have got to get your own. But old Chef Fo love y'all. Yeah, old Chef Fo love y'all. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting the recipes so far, and we've been on our little Spanish wave as of lately, and we gonna keep it coming, you know. So look out for the pinto beans recipe with the plantains, and we might do old chicken stew too. But thank y'all. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'm out, baby.